Sorry for being a minute or two late. The animals don't want to be in here today or right this second. They smelled, well, specifically the cats. They smelled fish and they're like, "Ooh, kitchen time." That's what fish means. Yeah, I keep touching that and I don't mean to, and it keeps moving, and it's not what I want. Whatever. I'm just over here arguing with things that mean nothing, all while doing multiple things because that's all I do. Do-do, do-do. One more, and do-do. And hi, Paul, no name, Steve, Feisty, Ryu, BMC, Danny, Joey, and Eric. Thank you guys for already being here. Let me see who was already here on portrait. If I missed anyone, I did. Only Dakota. Hello, Dakota. And now Eric. There we go. Let me change this real quick. Hello. Don't be weird. Reset. Don't send your heart me's yet, guys. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. 1 second. It's coming. I'm changing it. 1 second. Dang it. I was saying don't do it. I am unmuted, right? I was saying it the whole time. I saw you coming. I'm like, nope, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's okay. It's okay. There's always a delay. There is a delay, and that's the problem. What was I gonna do next? Oh, this one. All right. All right. All right. All right. No. It's okay. It's okay. We'll still get 25 other people. You just make 26. We'll go with that. You just make 26 now. Oh man, guys. Your bird flies to you every time you open the fridge. I mean, what's in the fridge for a bird? I do want to know. What is in the fridge for a bird? Hello, Cleveland, Ohio. Decline. Oh, I need to expand that a bit. Hello? Hello? There we go. There we go. And there we are. All of the setup, like, guys, it is so much to do all of this stuff, okay? So much. Hey, Dolphin. It's quite okay, bye, Chris. Thank you. It is just a lot. A lot goes into this. Broccoli, blueberries. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, fruit. Yeah, guys, I don't think about that stuff. Okay. Can't say I really think about that stuff. Boom. Ah. Okay. I like how I got a notification. Very odd. Why is that acting like I don't have... Oh my goodness. Y'all don't understand. Whatever. Whatever it wants to do. Whatever. Stuff is so weird. Technology is very lame a lot of the time, guys. Hello. Well, Rush, I talked to MAGA. And I helped them reach some slightly obvious conclusions. One eats in a chair. That makes sense. It's a sparrow. Yeah, my cats think that wherever I go, I have food for them. I'm pretty sure that's what they think. The dog today didn't get a walk, so she was like, I want everyone attention. I have all of the energy in the world, and so therefore, I see what happened. I came in on the wrong account. That's the one I meant to come in on. All right, let's pop that up. That makes a lot more sense. I was like, why am I not a mod on my own account? Odd stuff happens. Yes, I am the operator. Bidoo, 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 bidoo. Oh, I do? Wow, long. The long mandible. Hmm. And now I'm getting asked this question. Why are people so awkward on the internet? Does anyone want to tell me why people are so awkward on the internet? Oh yeah, I mean I'm going to. It was just a question like why are people so awkward on the internet? No, it's not the same as public speaking. Public speaking isn't about being awkward. Public speaking is typically internal nerves. And there's a whole bunch of stuff. I literally burn, guys. I don't tan, I burn. Like I don't have enough any like I'm as freaking pasty complexion as you can get, man. You know, Kevin, I actually appreciate this comment. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that comment. At least somebody gets it. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Bishop. I didn't get a chance to say hi to everybody. Oh, okay. Hey, awesome. We just hit 190 followers on Twitchy. That's pretty cool. People are so funny. Irish goth girl troubles. No, Shannon, I'm not. I don't think I'm Irish. So the heritage that I know is not Irish. I know that much. What I know is not. Not all of it, but some of it. I don't know everything. But from what I've traced back, I don't see Irish in there. See,
You're
Paul
awesome.
gets it. Yeah. Thank you, Paul, for the 2. Paul says this. He's very right. People are awkward in general. It's a true statement. People are. I think we're inherently. Oh, I'm still there. Why did TikTok do weird shit? Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. How old are you?
62.
62?
Yep.
All right. And did you vote for Trump? Or sorry, are you still supporting Trump?
I have some information on Trump that you might not be aware of. Do you want to hear it?
What's up? No, he's on a plane on his way back from the UK
No,
right
no.
now.
I don't mean physically. I don't mean he's physically in court. I mean he's being charged in court. Like you don't have to actually be present for a court to try you. You know that, right?
So it's by the ICJ?
It's by the World Court.
Yeah, International Judicial Court.
World.
That would be the ICJ.
Do you know who Kevin Annett is?
No.
So Kevin Annett is a gentleman who has spent decades investigating crimes against humanity and predominantly he was focused for a
Oh,
very long time
ICC
on
is what I was
Canada.
looking
And in the investigation, a bunch of actual victims, living victims, and witnesses to crimes through something called the Ninth Circle cult was exposed.
at.
The Ninth Circle cult is a cult that involves world leaders, and it is a satanic sacrificial cult. So they have 18, I think is the number, live victims testifying. And unlike a normal court where you are presumed innocent until proven guilty, when you are on trial at the world court,
I just want to let you guys know that their
you are
caller
actually
ID says
presumed
Uncle
guilty,
Appleseed.
and you have to prove your innocence. And he's not the only one on on trial right now. There's like
Yes, Bishop.
I
That's
want to
exactly what it
say
is.
14 people.
No, I can't find
He's one of
anything, guys.
them. Prince Charles is
I
listed.
muted
The
her for a
Pope is
reason because
listed.
TikTok is a sensitive little
A
child.
chief of
We
staff,
love
I think,
TikTok.
for Trump was listed. The list is posted on a
I don't
website
know.
called Murder by Decree.
Damn, this is getting interesting.
So obviously, you know that the media in this country is owned by three families.
You guys should not be able to hear her on TikTok.
And
Is that
this
right?
is never going to hit mainstream media.
I just want to make
because
sure
he
on
used to be a
TikTok you guys
reporter.
can't hear her.
California. And
Good.
so everything that's real, people have
Good.
to get on the internet and
You guys
find,
don't understand. I have to mute it. There's a
the
reason.
truth, because
If you guys want to listen,
that's
it's
not
another
what
app.
the media does right now.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. I can't find every. What's up?
Yeah, no, I know. Could I give you some other information for you and your audience to sort of dig into?
Sure.
So a lot of the other stuff that's really going on is that there is a woman named Anna von Reitzinger, and she, with a bunch of other really big brains, she is a retired Alaskan justice. And about 40 years ago, she got together with other very big brain people around the world and started investigating why the world is the way it is.
This isn't
right?
satire, guys.
Even was
This lady
40
is
years
serious.
Ago. And they went to the Vatican and they went to the Crown and they demanded documents. And over
She's
time,
like
what they
serious.
proved
She believes
was
this.
what basically the world now sees as the elites and what their plan was. So obviously people know things like 2030 agenda and stuff like that, right? So that's like playbook pages out of their agenda, and their agenda has been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years.
All right. Well, sorry, there's another call coming in, so I'm going to try to take that, but I appreciate you. Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Awesome. How old are you?
I'm 30 years old.
You're 30? Okay. And are you still supporting Donald Trump?
No, not in its entirety, not fully, no, unfortunately.
Okay. So if that's the case, are you able to accept that Donald Trump is actively lying to you in his current administration?
Yes, he is lying to his current administration, some of this stuff, though.
Okay. Help me out here. I want to go ahead and I just want to make sure. Can you give me 3 lies that he's told in his current administration?
One of the lies being that he stopped something like 7 or 8 wars, I believe he stated.
Okay. Okay. 7 wars. Uh-huh.
Yes. And second one, when he was saying, quote, Haitian immigrants are eating the dogs.
Oh, that was when he was campaigning for president, not while he's actively been president.
Okay. Which other ones though too? Because there's so many though. It's as well as the I think the sexual harassment suit he had with a woman, and a woman won like a settlement of like 80 million, $100 million, I believe, and he denied any wrongdoing.
Okay, so talking about E. Jean Carroll.
Correct. And he said he didn't do anything. She's not my type anyway, you know,
Uh-huh.
verbatim. So that was interesting.
All right, one more.
I think it was probably from his previous campaign, but Trump University, people sued because of fraud and misrepresentation of facts from the schooling they were going to get when actually what they did not get.
Gotcha. All right, well, it sounds like you can definitely acknowledge that Donald Trump is lying, and I would definitely say, with that being the case, you should not be saying that you support him anymore. Sounds like you're aware.
Yeah, some of the stuff I do support as far as the immigration reform. Um, as far as because under the Kamala Harris administration would have been 5 million or more immigrants in largely black communities, and that's the big thing commuting right now.
Oh, where can I
In
find a
Chicago,
study that says that?
not a study, but I know for a fact their political agenda was to get 5 million immigrants in the U.S. under the
Where was
communist.
that agenda at?
Um, I think there's articles or something you can check in ChatGPT. Again, ChatGPT is not fully 100% absolute, but it is a fact, as well as Google. There would be articles and news publications that was there during the presidential campaign, and there's a big brewing right
Wait,
now
she
in
said it during her
Chicago with
presidential campaign?
correct. And there's, for example, there's Chicago right now. They're not particularly too happy with the mayor, where they're getting substantial amount of funding and housing, and the local residents in Chicago are not getting the same treatment. Same thing with New York. The Adams is starting to wake up. So it would have been a bad situation worse if she was president. Quite honestly, that alone.
Hmm.
And I don't want
Let's
to blame
see.
immigrants or anything like that. I think
You already
greatly
are.
contribute towards. I think they greatly contributed to this country what it is today. But my biggest thing is they come from another country, and some of them, not all, but they have this anti-black attitude and very racist where they come from their home country and they bring in the U.S. Hello.
I'm still here, just can't find anything that is actually plausible. I found one thing from Docket Wise, which was published June 24th of 2025, which is very odd for that to even be a thing that's still going around. But nothing that says that they were planning on bringing 5 million immigrants. And even there, in Docket Wise, they didn't say anything about how many immigrants they were going to bring in. What you could be estimating is what the Brookings Institute estimated based off of if there were no changes to the immigration law itself of how many immigrants could make their way into the country
Well, it
over
was
the
the
next 10 years.
yeah, correct. For
But
example, it was
again,
under
individuals
the
such as
Biden
yourself
administration.
don't really understand. And even there, it says overall, the Harris low scenario yields a net migration of about 1.3 million.
Let's see, but for example, it was an
Yeah.
app that pretty much expedited the process of immigrants
Oh,
coming
wow.
from Mexico.
Actually, this is interesting. Okay, so I have the Brookings Institute up, right? So even on Trump, his high scenario has him getting 5.6 million over 4 years of immigrants.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. That was a contributing factor.
No, I don't think you understand what it was. You obviously didn't read this.
Wait, can you repeat that last part though, as far as clarification, please?
Donald Trump, on his high estimate with his immigration policy from the Brookings Institute, is 5.6 million over 4 years.
Right, right. Okay.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
is the
well,
number that you
again,
were just complaining
he
about,
lied.
the hypothetical number for Harris. It's quite odd. Guys, you're not
Let's
tapping the
see. Let's
screen.
see. Hmm. Well, I just wanted to express myself regarding that matter, and thank you for your time.
Sure, man.
Thank you.
I honestly don't really understand what happened there exactly. Just aside from someone not reading anything fully. Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there?
I am.
Awesome. How old are you?
I'm 53.
You're 53?
Yep.
Okay. And are you still supporting Donald Trump?
I am.
You are. All right. Are you willing and able to accept today that Donald Trump is actively lying to you in his current administration?
Yeah, if you can persuade me, if you can show me facts.
Oh, if I can
I'm
persuade you,
open-minded.
so you can't think of any lies on your own that he's already told?
I mean, he's what we in the industry call, the industry being just living here, a shit talker. You know what I mean? I think that he exaggerates, but I don't think he lies with bad intent generally.
Okay. So what does he get out of telling people that that the Bureau of Labor Statistics is lying and that there is no inflation? We have no inflation right now.
Well, that's interesting because, here's the thing. I mean, from my reading of the news, all the statistics were fraudulent, and at least the latter half of the Biden administration. I remember when they talked about the
I'm just
definition of
asking you about the inflation
recession
rate
didn't mean
and Donald
recession.
Trump. No, I don't know why you're trying to go to like jobs. I'm asking you specifically about the inflation rate and Donald Trump saying it's a lie, we have no inflation when inflation is
You
at
know,
2.9%.
I'm not familiar with that. I haven't seen that. Is that new?
No, he says it all the time. He says we don't have any inflation. And even when the most recent inflation numbers come out, he still says, nope, they're lying. We don't have inflation in the United States right now. Everything is down in prices. Everything is down in prices. Even though the CPI shows us at an inflation rate of 2.9%. And that was what released on, oh, what day was that exactly? Let me check out the calendar. The 8th. And
I
this was
think the
under his
CPI is
temporary head of the
often
Bureau of Labor Statistics.
I think the CPI is often criticized for exclusion of a lot of really volatile things.
No, the CPI only excludes two things. Can you take a guess at what those are?
Ew, not really.
Energy and grocery prices.
Oh, so fuel's part of energy and grocery. Those are so those
Fuel
are
is
probably
down. Fuel is
the
down
most
half a
labile
percentage point.
prices.
Fuel is down half a percentage point.
I have an electric car. I haven't noticed.
Okay, well, no, I'm just gonna say it's like fuel is down half a percentage point.
That's good. I would have thought it was a lot more than that, actually.
Nope, only half a percentage point.
Mm.
Not that a lot of people are seeing it everywhere, but this is an average based off of the nation as as a whole and not just one specific state. Because, like, for me, I'm seeing my price of gas actually go up.
Where are you at?
I'm in Florida.
Florida. Oh, Florida. I thought everything went down in Florida. Is that not the case?
It did for a little bit.
Tell me this. I will grant you that, as I said, I would describe Donald Trump as hyperbolic.
Hyperbolic?
On occasion.
Okay.
Hyperbolic. Now, would you grant me that there was at least a similar degree, but a more pernicious degree of dishonesty with the Biden administration?
Oh, I mean, there was definitely dishonesty within there. For example, they talked about the Green New Deal so much that everybody believed that the Green New Deal passed and it didn't.
I didn't know that either. This is enlightening. What else? Tell me more stuff. I like that.
I mean, that's just the one thing I can think of off the top of my head. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think my point, and I really believe that 80% of the population is in the camp of people willing to be in the middle, saying, "I just don't want to get screwed by those above me. E or R, it doesn't matter." Is that something you're open to?
Repeat that a little bit.
Sorry, the idea that instead of being split in this left versus right, D versus R world, instead saying 80%, I think 80% of the population would agree in general on the ideas of live and let live, you know, the traditional your rights end where my nose begins standard. I think that's what the people would go for. Is that something that you can see? Can you see that as a healing point, maybe, or a
I mean, I can, but
point of
unfortunately, we
unification?
voted in somebody that's actively going against human rights.
How so?
How so?
Yeah.
Demonizing less than 1% of the population, going after immigrants on a very wide perspective, right? Like almost indiscriminately. Being
You mean
able
illegal immigrants
to, no,
or
immigrants,
immigrants?
sir. He's actually stripping people of status in order to make them, quote, illegal, just so that they can be deported. That's what he's like actively trying to do right now is
The
remove status from
cases I've
individuals, and
seen
it's
on that,
constantly being blocked at the not only at the Supreme Court level, right? But it's been blocked multiple times at the lower districts, but he keeps trying and trying and trying to remove people's status in order to deport them. We already have
I
evidence and proof of ICE picking up people leaving deport their immigration hearings or while they're on their way to their immigration hearings, which is going through the legal process in order to like they're the legal process. They're taking the legal steps to work on becoming a citizen and not just an immigrant, right? And he's picking them up on the way there or leaving their immigration court hearings in order to try to deport them.
I tend to put a lot of faith in the judgment of those agencies. It's not Donald J. Trump picking with people individually. I suspect it's people who are familiar with, hey, who are the problem people
It's
we
his
need to
administration though. It's Steve
expedite?
Holman, right?
Yeah,
It's
that's
literally
true.
You're
his.
awesome.
I do believe that one, Feisty. I'll read that in just a second. It's his administration. It's based off of people that he appointed and put into office right after he made this whole show of telling everybody, I'm only going after the criminals. Mass deportation of everyone that's here illegally, which, of course, the last estimate put out by DHS was 11.6 million, right? Um, residing in our country as of January of 2022, right? That was it, right? But they're engaging in racial profiling, which is really illegal, but the Supreme Court is temporarily allowing it while it's making its way up to the court, like up to their court system. And he's ignoring the Supreme Court's orders left, right, and center. Right? They blocked him back in May from removing status from Venezuelans. A
I guess
temporary
I would
order.
ask you,
Mhm.
you're assuming that the ethically correct decision is to just suspend 240 years of constitutional law and federal practice of utilizing immigration laws and having a process and borders with security, to then saying we're just going to grant you access to the country without due process. So I
No,
don't
it's actually
understand
Donald
what
Trump
you're
is
really doing
ignoring. He's
is you're
ignoring over,
victimizing the
sorry,
people
let me be
who
clear.
are
Donald
going
Trump is
through the
ignoring
process of
150
immigration
years of
legally,
legal precedents
and
that
you're
says that
victimizing the
everyone
people
is entitled to
that
due
fall
process
prey to
of the
them.
law, regardless of immigration status. Donald
You're
Trump is ignoring
awesome.
150 years of to be exact, it's 149 years of legal precedents that he's actively ignoring and bypassing individuals' right to due process in this country. So you see how you were like, well, they're like due process. Like, no, that's actually guaranteed. It's an enumerated right within the 5th and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution.
Yeah, the problem you have there is I think most people would find it favorable to understand that the the the, the understanding was not that a country would actually import people in to try to
We didn't
destabilize the society.
import people, dude. Like, I think
We didn't
people
import
say
people.
some crazy stuff. Yeah, so the individuals that were brought in on planes, I'm assuming you're talking about individuals that were flown into the United States
That's
by
part of
the
it. Yeah.
government. They were
Uh-huh.
refugees, approved refugees under the Biden administration. It's the same thing, mind you, that Donald Trump did with the South Afrikaners refugees. It's the same thing.
Right.
Donald Trump
The point
put
is
them on a
that
plane. Donald Trump sent a plane
the
to South
administration made a
Africa
policy
in order
decision
to
to
bring in
violate
the South
federal law.
Afrikaners that were experiencing a genocide, which was holistically untrue. Right? Donald Trump sent a plane to South Africa to bring South Afrikaners into the United States under refugee status. The same thing that you guys all complain about the Biden administration doing when they were bringing people from Haiti because they were approved refugee status.
So why are you critical of it? That's interesting.
No, I'm not. I'm making a point that it's the same thing that Donald Trump did. So if you're going to hold some kind of this is bad, then you better hold the same tune for Donald Trump doing it with South Afrikaner refugees. I'm
I think I
saying
just
it's
made
okay. I'm saying that the
very
biggest
evident to
difference is, though, that the South
anyone tuned in.
Afrikaner refugees that were brought in are all mostly retirement age. They're all like old fucks, right? So they also not only get to come in here on refugee status, but depending on what kind of status specifically they have, and if Congress passes something in the next couple months, they get to receive Social Security that they haven't put anything into, which is literally taking money from the American people.
Yeah, that's a good argument.
Yeah. Whereas the only parolee
so.
status that was really handed out under the Biden administration was to the Ukrainian refugees that were brought over. And see, so
I thought you were pro-Ukrainian
Donald Trump
refugees.
gave TPS status to Venezuelan immigrants that he's now actively trying to get overturned, like his own thing that he did that was extended by Joe Biden, that he's now trying to get overturned in the court system, that he had, a temporary order put in place against that by his Supreme Court, right? By his 6-3 conservative majority Supreme Court, put it on hold, saying, no, you can't deport these people. And it's making its way back through the court because the temporary order ended in July, but he's still being blocked, left, right, and center. But you're ignoring 100 and sorry, I was off on my years. 139 years of legal precedent that says that every individual, regardless of immigration status, if they are subject to the jurisdiction of the United States of America, then they are guaranteed due process of the law.
I don't think you'll find a supportive population when they realize where we are as a result. That's the problem. Hey,
oh yeah, just
like
ignore
people,
the. Can you remind me
to
what is
give
Article 3 of the United
everything.
States Constitution?
I have no idea.
You don't know what Article 3 is? How about Article 1?
No.
Maybe Article 2?
Article 1. I don't know. How about the preamble? I'm sure that's the one I've heard of.
Yeah, because you guys only ever know one part of the Constitution. So the articles of the United States Constitution, at least the first 3, actually break down the branches of government's powers, right? So we have Article 3 of the United States Constitution is over the Supreme Court of the United States. And so the United States Supreme Court is the one that interprets the letter of the law and applies it to the Constitution, and they are the ones that determine if something is constitutional or not, right? So when I'm talking about that we have 139 years of legal precedent, so case law, that says that all people, regardless of immigration status, are entitled to, regardless of citizenship status, are entitled to due process of the law. That was decided in Wick Wu v. Hopkins, 1886. Wong Wing v. United States in 1896. Matthews v. Eldridge, 1976. Landon v. Palencia, 1982. Reno v. Flores, 1993.
Here's the
Zimba Davis v.
irony.
Davis, 2001.
The
This was
irony is
all
if
done by the
anyone
highest court
wants to
of the
be
land in the
progressive,
United States of America.
then it would
And
be
this is
you that you
139
should
years of legal precedent. And that's why it is important to say that this is something that's in there, because if you actually read the 5th and 14th Amendments of the United States, it literally says no person. It doesn't say no citizen. It says no person, because there is a part in the 14th Amendment and in the, well, actually, I don't know about the 5th Amendment, but in the 14th Amendment where it specifies citizen and then later says no person. So we know that when they wrote the 14th Amendment, they had clarity of mind that there was a difference between citizen and person. And that's why we have 139 years of legal precedent.
I think that the irony is typically conservatives don't say we're breaking with precedent, but this is one where I think the majority of just regular people will say we can't afford it, we're breaking with precedent.
Actually,
Even if
Donald
you
Trump right now, he's losing in the
establish-
polls when it comes to immigration.
I have definitely not seen any numbers like that.
Oh,
I
you
saw
haven't?
19%
Well, that
approval
sucks
for
for
the
you.
Dems
It's the
last
way
week,
that
and
they're
that was
going
before
about it,
Charlie Kirk
because
was
ICE
shot,
has been
so
caught on camera literally dragging a 9-month-old pregnant woman who had legal status to be in the United States in order to be detained, dragging her through the streets. We have another one where a man that's been here for a long time and is a legal legal resident, suing ICE because they broke his ankle while dragging him out of his house. They broke into his
I don't
house.
think
We
you're
have
going to find a
another
lot
woman
of
that is
people
actively suing ICE because
defending
they broke into her
accidents or
apartment,
bad
a
acts by
legal
random
United States
agents.
citizen that was born here. They broke into her
But
apartment while she was in the shower looking for her
there's a
boyfriend.
lot of victims
You
in the
don't
U.S. that you
understand
seem
that there
not
are
to
individuals that are
recognize.
actively suing the United States
You're
government because of
picking
their inhumane practices that are
the wrong
violating the letter
victims.
of the law.
That's the
And,
thing.
and we can also include Kilmer Abrego Garcia as suing him, and I hope that the gay hairdresser also
See,
sues
we're
the
both
ever
good
living
people.
fuck
We both
out of the
care
United
about
States
other
for the shit that they're
victims. It's
doing.
just that the victims I care about are fellow Americans, and the victims you care about are non-Americans.
Did you
I
miss the
have
part where I
nothing
said
against the
that this was a
non-Americans,
woman,
but I
who was
prefer
born in
to
the
put
United
my
States of
citizens
America, a woman who was
above
born in the United
non-citizens.
States of America.
So
Therefore,
that's the
she is
argument
a
I'm
legal
making.
United States citizen born within the United States of America. ICE broke into her home. Didn't even have a warrant. They broke into her home while she was in the shower looking for her boyfriend. That was illegal. And not only that, but they made her get dressed in front of them. So she was naked and was forced to get dressed in
If you're,
front of them, and then
if
she
I
was
assume the
detained
fact,
without being told why, even though she was a legal United States citizen. And not only that, but they came back a second time and detained her again and wouldn't let her call anyone, and they held her for over 24 hours because she wouldn't give up her boyfriend, because she didn't know where the fuck he was, because he left because they were looking for him. So I'm talking about a legal United States citizen that was born and has been here her whole fucking life. And you're saying I'm talking only about people that aren't supposed to be here according to you. Legal residents, sir, are supposed to be here.
Well, then, like I said,
But I'm sure you also don't care about Donald Trump
than what
trying
we're
to
talking about.
federalize the National Guard on
Yeah.
American citizens, right?
You know, that's another one of those
Or the
ones
fact
I
that
just
South
can't
Korea is
bother looking
actively
into.
looking at trying to charge the United States with human rights violations for the way that we treated legal individuals that were here on work visas from South Korea to help build a plan that Donald Trump has been crying about, not to mention, though it's been in the works since 2022, because Americans needed to be taught how to make the batteries for Hyundai's vehicles in Georgia.
Because I think the thing about people like me is that I don't follow a personality. I'm not following Donald J. Trump.
Oh, yeah,
He
but
just
you just said I
happens to
had to
represent my
convince you to
position
prove
on
that
most
he
of
was
my issues,
lying, but you don't follow a
right?
personality known as Donald J. Trump. But I had to convince you at the start of this. When I asked you, can you admit that Donald Trump is lying? What did you say? You said, oh, if you can convince me that they're lies, sure. So I had to
Yeah.
convince you, but you're not following a personality known as Donald J. Trump. See, for me, if anybody had asked me, hey, can you admit that Joe Biden lied? Abso-fucking-lutely. I'm sure he fucking did. I'm not beholden to a politician or anybody that's in the office of our government. I will be honest
And
as
tell
fuck and
me
say
this,
that they're
would
all
that put
motherfucking
you in the
liars, but I at least
minority
hold
or
their
the
feet to the damn
majority of
fire
people
to
like
be
you
like,
that
tell
express
me
this
this is
position?
a lie and we should not condone them
If
lying
that
on
were
a
true about
constant
you.
daily basis. But you are just giving them a pass because, well, everybody lies, but you are beholden to a politician. When you are not able to speak out and say that, hey, this is a lie, this is why
Uh,
people say that MAGA is in a cult.
y- your argument falls apart when you look at the Epstein disclosure. There are people like me who is at least half the MAGA movement saying, you still got to show us the Epstein files.
Oh,
You saw
yeah,
how much pushback there
except
was.
what did you
That
say up
tells
here
you
again?
that it's not a
When I
cult.
asked you, are you
Because a
still
cult
supporting
would
Donald
have
Trump? You
said,
said yes. Except
okay,
when I
Father
asked you
Donald,
if
we're
you were
good with
still
that.
supporting Donald
No
Trump,
one
you
did
said
that.
yes. You're not being critical of him. You can only pick out one thing about the Epstein files.
Oh, I'm
Congratulations.
sure I
Here's
can.
your gold star,
I'm sure
buddy.
I
Here's your gold
can pick
star
out
that
more
I'm
if
sure
we
you're
talk about
looking
sure.
for.
But I think that's the problem is why are you setting this up as I'm a bad person and you're a good person as
I'm not
opposed
even
to
trying to say
we're
that you're a
different
bad
people with
person.
different
I'm literally
experiences in
saying that
life
you're
and
not
different
able to be
perspectives.
critical of it, but you want to say
You're
that,
going to give me a
like
gold
somehow
star. I don't know.
I'm what, beholden to my politicians? No, I'm not. I think you don't understand that there's a difference. I'm able to be critical of the government just as I
What's
was
a
when Joe
position
Biden
that
was
you
the
break
fucking
with your
president.
party
Big
on?
fucking whoop-de-doo.
What's
I'm
a
not a part of a
position that you
party.
break with your party on?
I'm not a part of a
What's
party.
a
I've never
position
been
you
one.
differ on? But what's a position you disagree with the Democrats or the left on?
What is a position that I disagree with them on?
Yeah. You said you're not beholden to them. You
Yeah,
are an
they don't
independent thinker.
push.
I'm just curious then what
Sure.
do you
Yeah,
differ from them on?
cool. They don't push for amnesty like I do.
So you would say you take a more left position than the party's official position. Is that
No,
fair to
I
say?
think everybody in the government spends too much fucking money. Unfortunately, even the Democrats vote on unanimously to continue to increase the budget for the DoD. Whereas I think that if we're going to increase the DoD budget, should be spent on our military personnel and their salaries, and not just on adding more weapons to it. Do you see how that works? Like,
Yeah, that's
I can
probably a
actually
fairly
break
pretty
from the party in
conservative
that regard.
position.
If we're going to
Yeah,
care, then we
yeah,
need to do that, right?
that's good.
Um, we're not
Uh-huh.
fighting for actually to
So
even subsidize, like the Democratic Party is not actually fighting to subsidize the construction industry, and it needs to be subsidized so that we can actually fill out our housing industry, right? We need more houses in America, and we know that. But in order to do that, we have to provide government subsidies to the construction industry to help keep it going along, because as we already know, guess what? Unemployment rate is continuing to go up. We lost 78,000 manufacturing jobs in the United States just since the start of 2025.
it's funny. I wonder what a group of someone with a perspective like you and someone with a different perspective that got together with a common mission of fix this problem could do, working together with different, gifts, different abilities. That's true diversity that matters. To bring different ways to look at a project, you're going to get a better solution. How wonderful would it be if we could, as a society, shift from this antagonistic, I'm right, you're wrong nonsense
Oh, no, I
to,
mean, I do
hey,
this to
here's what
listen
I
to people. You
understand.
just don't seem to be
Can
listening
can
to what I said.
you,
That's why you're not
give
even
me
able to
your
respond to what I
perspective
said.
and let's figure out where we agree and what can we
Uh-huh.
work on together. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, except I didn't start this out with saying, you're wrong, I'm right. you're the one that's basically done that. So it's odd.
No, and I don't mean that. I understand that. I don't mean to attack you without saying that that's the nature of the situation. It's not just you. It's not just I. And hey, I fully partook in it. Come on, let's get real. I'm not blameless. I'm just saying it's weird. Why do we have to accept that that's just the way we set these conversations up? Why can't it be?
Dude, I
Hey,
have
what the hell? Am I
conversations with
wrong? You know?
conservatives all the freaking time, and I'm not
Yeah.
even just talking about
Let's
on my
hear it.
live. It's not even
Let's
hard.
talk like that. What's that like? What's that like? I'd
Well,
love to
see,
talk
I
to you
guess the
that way.
difference is between the conservatives
Or
that I
that'd be
speak
boring.
to and you is the fact that they're
Yeah.
able to admit up front that Donald Trump is lying, and they're able to approach the lies and not just be like, yeah, I still support him, or be like, I support him on one issue, but I can holistically disagree with him on X, Y, and Z, and be very open about it. Individuals such as yourself are like, yep, nope, I still support him. And then I ask you, can you tell me, like, can you admit that he's lied? And you're like, yeah, maybe if you can convince me. That's not trying to bring common ground when you start off a conversation like that. Individuals that normally I can have these conversations with are like, yeah, I'm sure he does, and I can actually think of one or two right off the top of my head, and then continue into a conversation from there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think it would go something along the lines of, hey, it sounds like you and I have different perspectives on this really important issue to me. I want to hear why. How did you, what's your evidence? How did you arrive at a different solution? Because I'm guessing, because I watch both sides of the media, they both lie, both sides, right? They don't cover the same story. They cover opposite sides of the story, and there's more than just two. Um, so the point is, it's all a lie. We have to just figure out how do we communicate and cooperate and use our experience together instead of against each other,
Maybe if
right?
you just stop trying to give it a pass by saying everybody lies or it's all a lie, so why bother trying to fix it, and
But that's
actually hold
reality.
their feet to the
That's where we
fire.
shoot ourselves in the
Doesn't
foot.
matter if it's a
That's the
reality,
problem is
sir.
you
Hold their
can't
feet
have
to
this
the fire. If
religious
his own
zeal about
supporters
it.
cannot call him
That doesn't
out
work.
on the bullshit that he does, on the
They
lies that
do.
he
The
spews,
Epstein files was
that's
a
the only
huge
thing you
rebuff.
have. That's the only
Huge
thing you
rebuff.
have. You don't even know that he said that there was no
Yeah, look,
inflation in the United States. You don't even know that they're actually harming
I missed
American
that.
citizens in their ICE deportation raids that they're doing. You don't even know any of that. You don't even know that
Again,
other countries are
I don't
actively trying to
trust
sue us for human
the
rights
likely media
violations
sources
because of
you saw
immigration.
this from.
Other countries are actively trying to sue us because of human rights violations. You don't even know that. See, you only care about one thing, the
The,
Epstein files.
the problem is I've
Congratulations.
seen it
Except that's not a
before.
deal
This
breaker
isn't the
for you
first
because you still came
time
up here
that
and
there
you
are these.
said that you supported
It's
Donald
funny.
Trump. You still came up here and you said
When
that
I
you
was doing
supported Donald Trump regardless
when I
of
was
him
doing my
trying to
first
hide the
bachelor's, it
Epstein
was in
files and
government,
making a
ironically.
case, a clear-cut case for
And I
Ghislaine
remember
Maxwell
taking
on
a
getting an
course
appeal
on
overturned
international
at the Supreme
relations,
Court level
is
because
what it was
Donald
called
Trump
then.
is continuing to say it's a
And all I
hoax,
could
it's a
remember at
hoax,
the end
it's a
was
hoax.
thinking,
And
I'm
you're the
so
one who said that
glad
Donald Trump
I
isn't
don't
lying
work
unless
in
I can somehow
international
convince you
relations
that he's
because
lying.
it's
Like,
so
I don't think you
complicated.
understand how
No
disingenuous
country
you
is
are.
monolith.
I can't. I don't know. They just always talk. No, Nate, I can't. So, quit lambasting, be kind. I don't know who that was towards, Twitch. But no, I'm good. But thank you. Shadow hearing. Yeah, I believe it. Let me see. What injunction were they trying to get overturned this time? Level of copium is insane. That's funny. I like that one. Another one. $1.99. Thank you. This is too advanced for the caller. He should tune into Romper Room. That's pretty funny. Tell me when I muted him at any point, CS. When did I mute him? Tell me. Also, I'm not trying to win an argument. That's your guys' shtick. Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there?
Yeah. Hey, I'm not here to, I'm not a MAGA guy, so I'm not here to debate you. I just want to say you're doing a great fucking job. you have way better patience than I do, so keep up the good work trying to like reach these people. And there was one really interesting thing that last guy said that I think needs to be commented on.
Yeah.
He had said out of nowhere, "Oh, you're saying I'm such a bad guy. You're saying I'm such a bad dude." Well, you never said anything like that, right?
Nope.
Like, I think these people need to realize that when they start having that reaction, like maybe they just feel bad, you know? They need to
True
learn
point.
the difference between feeling bad and someone actually accusing them of something.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually a really good point. Guys, have some awareness of what the difference is between you feeling bad and somebody actually making the accusation of saying you're bad.
Awesome. Thank you. Keep up the good work.
Thanks,
Peace.
man. Oh, I don't know if you were still saying something, but you actually got disconnected. Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there?
Hello? Yes,
Hi.
well, you made the claim that we need
How old are
to
you?
subsidize housing. I'm actually
How
18.
You're 18. I'm sorry, I do not talk to 18-year-olds. Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there?
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Coco, for the 1999. How old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
You're 22. Awesome. And are you still supporting Trump?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you willing and able
over the other candidates?
over the
that
other candidate?
would-
No, there is no other candidates. Okay. Donald Trump is the sitting president of the United States. There is no compare and contrast. It's just we're 8 months into his administration, right? Are you still supporting Donald Trump 8 months into his administration as president of the United States?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Cool. Are you willing and able to accept today that Donald Trump is actively lying to you in his current administration?
About what specifically?
Anything you can think of, sir. This is a question directed at you.
To be honest, I don't pay attention enough to politics to know every single thing that Trump says on a day-to-day basis. But I do pay attention enough to know that Donald Trump is a fighter for the Second Amendment. He's a fighter for the First Amendment. Those are two things that I'm very passionate about, because without the Second Amendment, we can't protect ourselves for keep any other of our rights. And one thing I would like to get across before you say, gun violence is so important, because I'm assuming that's the viewpoint that you have, is that guns need to be taken away. The one thing that I would say is, yes, I would love for gun violence to completely stop, it never to happen again. But the only way for that to happen is that if no one ever had guns again, and if we were to try and get rid of all guns, realistically, the only people that are going to give up the guns are law-abiding citizens, not criminals. So the criminals are still going to have the guns. And then how are we supposed to protect ourselves? Or from a tyrannical government maybe taking power, how are we supposed to protect ourselves from that?
I'm just curious really quickly. I love it when people bring up a tyrannical government. What do you think that your AR-47 can do against an unmanned drone with a bomb?
Can do more than my bare hands.
No, but you do realize that if there is a drone coming after you, you're dead before before you even pull the trigger. Do you not understand that? You want to talk about a tyrannical government. The United States government, the United States military has F-35s, F-16s, F-15s, unmanned drones, B-2 bombers. You're dead before you can think about it. You're not even just dead, sir. You are pink dust in the air. You would be vaporized before you can blink.
If you're referring to bombers, you're insinuating that a tyrannical government would go ahead and completely destroy everything,
not
If
just the
you're
people
an
that it doesn't.
individual that's threatening to speak out against the United States government, and if the FBI and supposedly the CIA is tapping everybody's phones, right? If they already have that information, sir, they don't even have to wait. Like if they're gonna claim martial law and they're gonna become a tyrannical government, they don't have to wait. If they're already being engaging in tyranny, they're already engaging in, yeah, guys, I realized I said it wrong, whatever. They're already engaging in violating the Constitution entirely and becoming a fascist regime or a dictatorship, whatever. They're going to just blow you out of the sky.
It would take a lot of drones to be able to kill every single person that stood up against them. And like I said, we'd have more of a fighting chance with weapons than without. Without weapons, we have no fighting chance at all.
Mhm.
And
You
it
realize
would
we have
take
more
it
guns in
would
the
take more.
country than we have citizens?
Yes,
Okay, just
and
making sure you understand that. And there are plenty of military members that wouldn't defect, I'm sure, because a lot of them actually believe in the shit that's going on, typically. So it's just a very interesting. Yeah, guys, I'm.
so if I'm understanding you correctly, your point of view is that you would rather all
Oh, that's
weapons
actually
get
really funny.
outlawed.
I'm gonna read this one real quick. Um, we lost in Vietnam and the Middle East people with secondhand weapons while wearing sandals.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah. The United States lost in Vietnam and in the Middle East people with secondhand weapons while wearing sandals, and we had tanks and drones.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point because you're not going to be able to get everyone with. I mean, even if you have the superior weapons, you're still some people are still going to get taken out, and that's what I was trying to justify with us still having weapons. The government's not going to be able to control us completely if we still have weapons to defend ourselves. If we don't have
That's the
weapons to defend
theory.
ourselves, they'll be able to control us completely. We won't
Yeah,
have a
in
standing
theory,
chance.
we could somehow like fight them back with all of this stuff.
Well,
Um,
I'm trying to understand your view more. So
Well, see, I
if
wasn't even gonna
if
go down the whole gun thing, but you just brought up tyrannical government bullshit, which I find hilarious because yeah, all the government would have to do is just take out half the population of the United States, people that they suspect. I'm sure they would go after blue states first. Like,
and
let's be so for real.
how
They
would they
would
do
go
that?
after blue states first if they were going to engage in this level of tyranny, and that's what they would do. But in no way do I condone political violence. I was actually more interested in going down the First Amendment because Donald Trump said today while boarding Air Force One, while trying to leave the United Kingdom, about specifically going after people that speak negatively about him,
If he said
which is a
that, I don't know
violation of the First Amendment.
if he said that, which I don't know if he did or not. I'm not going to call you a liar though and say that he didn't. I would completely disagree with him.
Yeah. Well, he's already violated the First Amendment when he refuses to let AP News into the press room. And that's
How
actively making its way through the court system. But yeah, he said it on live TV today when somebody was asking him a question about the divisiveness of the United States, and he's like, "Yeah, these all of this far left wing media, right? Sorry, hold on, let me try my horrible Trump impression. all of all the media, all the ones that just want to talk poorly about me, that's all they have is talking negatively about Trump. And you know what? They're not going to be able to talk about me anymore." Sorry, really bad impression. I didn't do my best on that one. I admit that one.
Okay. And yeah, like I said, if he said something like that, I would completely disagree with him. But and I
He
know this is
did.
your
He's
show and
actively
you run.
violating the First Amendment.
Okay. But I would like to understand. I know you don't want to talk about it, but I think it's a very important issue, and it's something that the left and the right, and I would say I'm leaning towards the right a whole lot more than the left, so I think we're on opposing ends right now. I think it's a very important issue to discuss guns and everything surrounding guns. So I would like to try and understand your perspective more and know why it is that you believe that outlawing guns
Never said
would
that.
help us.
No, I've never made that claim.
Oh, my bad then. I misunderstood you. So what is your perspective on guns?
Why? We need universal background checks.
I can back that up.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that the only?
Red flag laws.
I'm sorry?
Red flag laws.
What's that mean? I'm not familiar.
So if anyone has been, so here, let me give you an example. The shooter that shot up Uvalde, right, in Texas in May of 2022, he was already under watch by the government for suspected of activities, but he was still able to walk out of the store with an AK-47 the same day in Texas, even though he was 18. Because in Texas, for some reason, you can buy a fucking rifle an AK or an AR same day, but you can't get a pistol until you're 21. It's a very odd law in Texas, right? And then same thing for the 14-year-old that shot up his school in Georgia with his gifted AR-15 from his dad. The FBI had previously gone out to his residence and investigated and asked the kid questions because of stuff that he was doing online because of his online activity, right? If we had red flag laws, this would prevent those individuals from being able to obtain a weapon without a full psych eval or something, right? Like, we see that this works in other countries because some of them do. So, like, in the Czech Republic, for example, they have to get a mental health evaluation every 5 years before they can obtain a weapon. And I'm not saying they necessarily have to have an entire mental health evaluation. But if you've been on some kind of list or you've been investigated in some way in a negative manner because of your online activity that suggests that you might become violent. Sorry, dude.
Oh.
That was probably from that first lady. We're still live on YouTube, but TikTok just said, fuck me. That's cool. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to get this up. Why won't this let me do it? Okay. Sorry. That distracted me for a second. All right.
Well, to respond to what you're saying.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I would completely agree with pretty much everything you're saying on regulating being able to purchase guns as easily as you can right now. I feel like that would help. But and it sounds like you also would agree with me on this. I don't think that guns should ever be banned outright because, like I've said, that would severely hurt people as a whole being able to defend ourselves so that we can continue to keep our constitutional rights. That's my personal belief. Do you disagree with me on that or agree with me? It's sounding like you agree with me. But I might
So
be
I
misunderstanding.
again, I'm not going to disagree that the right to own firearms is an enumerated right within the United States Constitution. That is true. Okay. I'm not saying get rid of guns. Okay. What I am saying though is that there are things that we can do and there are things that are absolutely not necessary for what people need or like what they think they need in the United States, right? Nobody the AKs and the ARs, those are for funsies, right? They're not good for home defense because they will shoot right through a wall. And so not only are they going to be harming like the people in their house, but it's possibly going to be going all the way through like across the street, right? I would be okay if we reinstituted the assault weapons ban from 1994, right? Where basically just stops the production of the ARs, the AKs, right? Because
So
those
I
aren't
would,
really
if I,
necessary, but it doesn't stop them from continuing to circulate what's already been made. It just stops the production and then the sale of new afterwards.
so where I would disagree with you on that is that you can identify those weapons as semi-automatic, and if you're going to put certain barriers against buying certain weapons, that could easily be manipulated into banning other weapons or manipulated into banning weapons outright. So that's where I disagree with
Yeah,
what
but
you're saying
see,
right there.
well, no, I think so. It's not a ban. It's just stopping the production of. It's not a ban.
Stopping the production of.
Correct. It's not a
Okay.
ban. You're not turning the weapons back in. You're not, it's not saying you can't buy it from a private seller or anything like that. It's the assault weapons ban of 1994 was literally it stopped the production of.
Yeah. And I don't, I mean, that's tough for me too, to get behind, just because I feel like that could be manipulated or developed into other things. I feel like once you start down the rabbit hole of either banning or quitting the production of weapons, I feel like that opens up possible problems, and then
It,
that could affect us long term
all you
more
have
than
to do is
more.
just, like, I mean, honestly, all you would have to do is just have enough people to sue it, see what the Supreme Court does, because that's how we come up with a lot of our decisions. And yes, Mr. Tiddlywhack, it was definitely lame. But I think that the cost of doing absolutely nothing, I don't think like the cost of doing absolutely nothing, which is what we've seen time and time again, is more children dying, more people dying at the hands of somebody with a gun. And the good guy with the gun doesn't work. We have proof of this. It's at less than 3% of the time that somebody else with a weapon stops the bad guy with the gun.
So, in my mind, where I would go with that argument, instead of saying trying to put regulations on guns or trying to stop the production of guns, where my mind goes is to stop that roughly, what is it, like 15,000 deaths due to weapons aside from suicide yearly, an average of like 15,000. To try and stop that, or at least reduce the numbers, where my mind would go is covering the mental illness problem that we have in our country.
Cool.
And
Republicans are constantly voting against those bills in Congress. And in fact, they're rolling back people's access to health insurance right now with the big, beautiful bill that's going to be effective starting January 1st, 2027.
so where I'm going myself, whenever I say covering the lines of mental illness and fixing that problem, I'm saying like not having all the terrible stuff in our foods, not having people eating medicine instead of like taking medicine as food instead of taking their food as medicine. That's what I'm referring to. I'm not familiar with what exactly you're referring to. And in my mind, what I see is Republicans taking that very seriously, specifically RFK Jr. taking that seriously, trying to ban all the different types of dyes that are terrible for us, all the
Just so you know,
preservatives
the
that are
dyes
terrible
are
for us.
actually those same dyes that everybody says that are so bad for us. And European countries don't have those dyes. They have those dyes in different names. Those dyes, you have been told that they're bad for you, and you've ignored the research that has come out later and afterwards that proved that the prior research was incorrect and was lying to you. The dyes actually aren't doing anything to you. Red dye 40 is not making you have ADHD.
I'm pretty sure it's been proven to cause cancer and other illnesses,
Oh, gosh.
diseases. Also, as a society, we have to be careful, very careful, what information we take online and believe. An example that I can think of is the nation, whatever you might know what I'm talking about, but
Yeah, there is no human evidence to support the claim that red dye 40 can cause cancer.
is that an AI overview or what is that? Because like I was saying, there's a lot of
PubMed.
information out there that we really can't trust. Our government's lied to us many times. They've said that things are okay for us time and time again, and then it, comes out that it wasn't okay, or
Cool.
the
And the majority of
organizations
people that
behind.
have lung cancer drink coffee. So I guess coffee is now causing lung cancer, and so therefore we should outlaw lung cancer or outlaw coffee.
I'm not saying that correlation equals like connecting it. That's not what I'm trying to infer at all.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing of the studies that they're finding is that there might be a correlation, but they can't prove the causation.
Okay, so
I believe that,
what's
Bishop.
your take? What's your take on like preservatives that
Get rid of
have stuff in them like things similar to like mustard gas or similar to things that there's no way in the world, no matter whatever organizations get behind a study and try to influence the study to make it look like it's not a problem, like without a shadow of a doubt that it's an issue,
like what?
like preservatives in food.
Like what? Name one.
I don't have a memory like that where I can name off all the specific preservatives. I just know that they're not good and I've read about them.
Have you ever
So
traveled internationally?
say what?
Have you ever traveled internationally?
I have not. I'm 22. I can't afford that.
Okay, and that's totally fine. I was just asking out of curiosity. So yeah, if anybody ever travels internationally, I'm going to be very clear. You're going to notice a significant difference in the way that food tastes. Is it because of the preservatives? Is it because of the pesticides that we use here? I don't know the exact difference, right? But the food over internationally, like I've been to Ireland, I've been to Greece, and I mean, I've been all over Ireland. It just tastes different. It tastes fresher. And maybe it's because, I don't know, I was in a different country. I don't know. Yeah, we rely way too heavily on preservatives in this country because, unfortunately, unlike other countries, the the idea in America has become that we work in order to live, or sorry, no, that we live in order to work. So we have all of these foods that are just quick, pop it in the microwave, easy to do, right? Pop it in the microwave. So simple. And that's, in my opinion, the biggest issue is that we don't give American citizens enough time to actually get through their day to cook or anything because you work 8 or 9 hours a day, 5 days a week. Then you come home. Then you have other things to do. You still have chores to do on a daily basis. Most people don't have time to cook. So they eat out, they dine out, they buy a quick meal that they can pop in the microwave, pop in the oven. They don't have those kinds of things in all places like that internationally. Also, guys, if you're over on the portrait side, we're going to hit